This is Robert Martellacci, the Canadian co-worker here at the MindShare workspace in the Air Mills Town Center. And welcome to Global Entrepreneurship Week. We're celebrating with one of our valued members. And Dikshant Minhas is the Vice President Operations of FleetHunt here, a proud member for the past year of our workspace. Dev, thank you for joining me here.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Rob. It's been a pleasure. I'm so thankful to you for setting up this
Well,
podcast.
congratulations on the promotions. Now you're VP of Operations. You were top five at a startup contest in Alberta recently. Talk to me a little bit about the journey that you've had and the inspiration for Fleet Hunt on this global entrepreneurship week. And you are truly global. You have an engineering degree from India as well as an MBA
Yes, the MBA
uh,
from Canada.
from Canada. So kudos to you for being part of this global community that is part of Entrepreneurship Week, and that really makes a difference when you have that lens, doesn't it? Experience matters. You see a lot when in your travels. Like I find I learned so much through my travels. And congratulations, you were recently married this past year. A lot of new activities in
I
your
would
life.
say yes. So I'll just go ahead and tell how FleetHunt started. So Harman, one of our three big CEOs, team member, who actually started this with our CTO, Amit. They saw there's a huge void within the industry, especially trucking and long haul, that a lot of things are maintained physically. I mean, where the trailers are at, where the trucks are at, were done manually. So there was huge void, and a lot of people did not know about GPS and tracking and
Right. And
dashboards.
that's exponential growth. And part of it, online shopping, COVID, no doubt had an
Yes.
impact.
Yes. So our initial operations started in 2018 with baby steps, but we saw huge growth, especially during the time of COVID. We saw a huge increase in the freight industry and the trucking industry, especially long haul in Canada. It's a funny story I tell a lot of VCs and investors when we have the pitch sessions. So one of our bookkeepers who joined us, he bought two trucks 1 year back in September,
Right.
and a year has passed now, and now he and his team has around 15 trucks
Amazing.
within a year.
This
Uh,
is your bookkeeper.
this
This is like a side gig.
is a side gig he started now, which has become his full time gig. So that is the amount at which this industry has grown.
Incredible.
It's one of the best growing industries in Canada right now,
Well,
and we were at the sweet spot of that.
and so talk to us about the services that you offer. He came with props as well.
So we are three major products or three main products are this is a GPS tracker. This is a
Solar.
it's a solar GPS tracker. So what we've seen a lot many times is the clients tell us that their trailers get robbed. Like, well, sometimes they're standing in a yard or something,
Right.
and somebody picks them up with it and takes them away. So what is this? This is a the wire agnostic one. This goes
Right.
onto the top of the trailer, so
Right.
it doesn't get noticed. Like, where is it?
Right.
But the manager, the fleet manager, the fleet owner who has our dashboard can see where the trailers
How
are.
many of you found that have gone missing?
None, so like none whatsoever. But we have found many trailers which have been parked at different locations, and
Right.
and the owners were like, "Oh, we have a trailer parked at this very yard, which we didn't realize that we had
Right.
parked." Yeah, so kind of like it helps them manage their assets. It's like
Right.
very expensive assets. Like trailers are very
Absolutely.
expensive.
I like the concept that it's solar.
Yes.
Like I think, because whether you have a short or batteries go dead if they were battery up, like that's very
This is
intelligent.
yeah, this is a huge hit within our clients. Like they like
So you
it.
really listen to the customer needs
We
from a
have
product
yes, we have.
development perspective. Next up.
This is called the ELD, or it stands for Electronic Locking Device. In 2019, the FMCSA, the body which governs the transportation in US, came up with this ELD program so that they can manage the hours of service of a driver.
This is really critical for safety.
Yes, this is now very really so. As soon as the truck driver starts driving, this starts logging in the hours, and there are different set of rules for different drivers or different trucks.
Right.
And we've seen a huge growth within ELD too. And now, what has happened? The Canadian government, the Transport Canada, has brought in its own rules for ELD. So next year in January, most probably, Transport Canada is launching a Canadian ELD mandate.
Hmm.
So all the trucks you know in Canada and all the trucks you know in US that come to Canada
Right.
would need to have this Canadian ELD, which we have almost made. We are in the process of certifying it, and
Excellent.
I think within a month or so we would be able to. And a huge shout out to NRC Arab, which helped us with the R&D for that.
Fantastic.
Yes, and yeah, so we have been able to achieve that. Now the testing is going on, and there are. I think by the end of this month, or probably starting of next month, we'll have a mandated solution with ourselves.
Amazing.
Certified.
And you have one more device.
Yes, this again goes into a trailer. This
Okay.
Yeah, this helps monitor the what's the temperature inside a reefer. So, a lot of reefers need to be temperature controlled, especially
Right.
ones with medicines or some medicine supplies or food, maybe perishable items,
Critical.
critical to so that their temperature is maintained within the limits which are defined for that material. So this really helps us to monitor the what the temperature inside the reefer is at. We have one more product which I don't have it right now. It's a smart dash camera. It's kind of like a dual facing dash camera which helps manage how the driver is driving. If a driver has a phone on his if he's talking on a phone, that would send an update to our the fleet manager or the fleet owner that the driver is distracted
Or watching a video.
or watching a video
That's a known
or
fact. Some of them will watch a movie.
yeah, movie, and like some of them drive really close to other cars, so it'll match the distance up and say, hey, this is you are not at the right distance,
So
you need to be
it's really
back.
focused on safety.
It's really focused. It's one of the smartest camera out there, and I can say that we have the best camera in Canada, one of the best camera from a Canadian company
Well,
in
kudos to you for
Canada.
your innovation. And what drives your innovation?
uh, Again, I said like GPS and asset management and telematics was the industry which saw a huge void, and again, it's growing at 14% CAGR, the global telematics industry. So we're not just focusing on North America. We just launched our office in. We're looking for office in US now. We launched last month. We have.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You're headquartered in Winnipeg.
We are headquartered in Winnipeg.
This is your Ontario office here
This
at the
is my
MindShare workspace. Very
Yes.
spacious.
And
And we do have limited space available, just in case.
yes, and
Oh, expansion. We've got to expand now that with, a hybrid work and
Yes.
suburban co-working has come
Yes.
of age, thanks to the support of companies like yourself.
no, thank you so much. And like, I think you connected us with the contact of Florida government. We
Right.
are in talking terms with them, and
Oh,
thank you so much.
fantastic.
And that's the best thing about working here is like you help us connect with so many right contacts, and
Well,
yeah,
it's a win-win, right? Like it's a mutually beneficial partnership as we see it, and it's always great to see the evolution of these companies, and we'll be featuring other companies throughout the week that have been really innovative and making an impact. Really, it's one of the pieces of advice I give startups is solve a real problem, right? If you solve a real problem and you put together a well-crafted pitch deck supported by funding. Uh, Although funding is always a challenge, it's a delicate balancing as you grow.
yes.
So there are opportunities for your company if the financial sector was interested.
Yes, there are opportunities. Actually, we are doing our first seed round, and I can also talk a bit deeper about how difficult it is these days to get funding, and like the sharks out there who are trying to lend you money at very high rate, and we've seen all that,
Right.
experienced all that. But I think as a startup, I would say if anyone of a startup persons are like listening to this podcast and want to start a company, I would say go to startup events, talk to
Right.
business owners, talk to those people who are working in startups and ask them the right questions. And you could learn a lot. Like we have learned a lot from people from Canadian community about how to raise money. So what we saw there was, especially coming after this COVID, was there's a huge void in in VC funding or angel funding. So we went the other way. We There's a program called in Manitoba SBVCTC.
Right.
It basically gives you back 45% of your provincial tax for the last 3 years or the next 10 years.
Amazing.
So we got qualified for that, and then we started approaching smaller people, like small funding amounts, like say $100,000. So we raised $200,000 on that, and then the Canadian government is huge on funding and grants. So like programs like SR Shred,
Right.
HRNED, NRC, IRAP.
Right. The
We just
rap, IRAP.
the IRAP. We just got qualified for the EDC TEL program, which under the banks just give out three up extendable line of credit till 3 million. So that is one of those. So the government has been really helpful. We also got qualified for the very prestigious program called EGS. It's called Accelerated Growth Services Canada. It's an IZ program where
Right.
the government brings in all the government bodies to one table, and then they help you. So the government has been really helpful here in Canada, and I hope we continue to be on that trajectory so that we get that kind of support
Well,
from them.
congratulations. You seem to be doing all the right things. And what it impresses me about your organization is the credentials, your expertise that you bring to the table in your engineering background and your MBA and your colleagues as well. You need to be backed up by knowledge and intelligence and smart people,
Yeah.
right? And in building your team, right? Everyone has to play a key role, not unlike a cricket team or a hockey team in my case.
And it's funny how like I discovered it on a long way. So when we were pitching, we started out pitching last year to like to angel investors and VCs. What we saw, they wanted the team to be in the second or third page. I was like, why the team? Like, what's like? See our revenues, we are growing. See the product, and then I later understand building a team is one of the hardest thing
Hmm.
in starting a startup. And like you have a to have a good cohesion within the team, everybody responsible for his or her own tasks.
Right.
It's not easy to get. So building a team was, I think, is one of those critical challenges that you need to come up. And then of course product market fit, and those, if you are now in flywheel mode or not, or your product is good or not, that comes later. But building a team is, I think, one of the basic structures or the
Right.
foundation of a startup.
And great advice. And but getting out there and telling your story like you have been. You've done several pitches. What's the inspiration for that?
I would say never get sad on a no. We got a lot of no's. Like and I think going forward we'll get a lot of no's. Amazon got a no. Airbnb got a no.
Well, Phil Cutler, who won our startup challenge in 2015, got many no's and went to the US because he was unsuccessful as a startup. And it became a unicorn this past year, presented at our EdTech Summit in Montreal in partnership with McGill. So sometimes you have to be agile in your mindset
Yes.
and listening skills. And you clearly demonstrated that you have great listening skills to guide your future direction. Agility is really important, and resiliency,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Agility is really important, and learning through the process is really important. So all the no's we had, though they were no's, but we learned a lot through that process. We learned
Right.
what they want to see, what they don't want to see,
Brilliant.
what kind of business model they're looking for, what kind of team cohesion they're looking for. So that's helps you model uh, forward. Like, and it's kind of like a sales. Like you
Yes.
have to pitch to multiple people to get that
Yeah.
sale done. And it's not a small amount of deal. You're not selling.
Not at all.
Yeah, small ticket
And
items. That's
and
a huge.
storytelling is the rage now. It's
Yes.
right. Crafting your story, being concise, not speaking too long.
Yes.
And on that note, we're coming up to 15 minutes. So I think this has been a great, impactful, and insightful conversation on Mindshare TV here in honor of Global Entrepreneurship Week. Congratulations on your success story to date, and keep going. And good luck in your expansion into the US and beyond. And any final thoughts to share, Dev?
Uh, final thoughts would be thank you so much and keep reaching out to startups and like VCs. And I think one of the key things which I saw in this journey was never like feel shy of asking for help. Like it goes a
Absolutely.
long way. Like especially
Yeah.
like since I moved here in Canada, like all the people I've approached to have been really helpful in
Right.
one way or the other. So I think
Brilliant.
yeah, go ask for help, guys. Like go like
Yeah, being humble
feel
and
humble.
and being open to
Yes.
people helping
Yes.
is really vital, and mentorship, right?
Indeed.
And reciprocal
Yes.
mentorship is important to give back and paying forward, and it seems to be paying its dividends. So,
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you so much, Rob.
We'll let you get back
Yeah.
to the office here, which is just on the other side, and to get working on your next big thing.
Yes.
That was Dikshant Dev Minhas, the VP of Operations at FleetHunt here at the Mindshare Workspace. My name is Robert Merdwanchi of Mindshare Workspace and Mindshare Coworker e-magazine here at Air Mills Town Center in the great city of Mississauga, Canada's seventh largest city. And I have to say, the Mississauga Economic Development folks were super supportive of us when we were looking to establish our workspace. They're an award-winning economic development office, and I highly recommend them if you're looking to make a move to another city, like the great city of Mississauga, strategically located about 15 minutes from Canada's largest airport, Pearson International Center. So, with that, happy Global Entrepreneurship Week. We'll be back with another one of our awesome entrepreneurs later this week. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep the learning curve steep.